Claude. Claude is normally a tool used by coders because it's initially started out as a tool to assist programmers with coding. But over the years, it's become more than that. People use it for all sorts of things from financial analysis to even a bit of prototype. And what do I mean by financial analysis? Let me go through and show you an example of financial analysis right here. Let's say I'm coming up with a business plan and I want financial projection for the next 5 years. So this is an example of such a request where, um, let's say, just for example, just for sake of argument, I am coming up with an idea for a startup business, ABC retail company. Okay, give me projections for the next 5 years, and then it goes ahead and gives you gross sales, less returns, um, the inventory basis, rates, basically everything you need for your P&L, and the same for your balance sheet, and then the same for your cash flow statement. And it's very detailed and correct with its calculations. One of the reasons why this is a big deal is because usually AI is not really good at calculations and numbers. It falters when it comes to that. And I'll show you a tool towards the end of our program, which is very good at a lot of things, but not so good at calculations or numbers. So when it comes to numbers and it comes to calculations, you will probably like to use Claude for your calculations and your numbers. But aside from numbers and financial statements and financial analysis, one other thing that Claude can also do is you can create apps within Claude itself. And one example of such a tool is, let me just go through and then look for this. All right. Apologies, my laptop seems to be freezing a bit today. Okay, so we have something here called a code generation workflow, and it's sitting within Claude itself. And what basically this is a tool that allows you to generate blog posts, email campaigns, marketing copy based on what you want to do. So let's say you want to generate some promotional material, and I did this with the prompt. I just said create a workflow for content generation, and it created something like this for me. I want to create marketing material for something I'm going to sell. So I click next. And then they ask you who's your target market. Let's say small business owners. Small business owners. And they ask you how do you want to be professional, playful, conversational, let's say one professional. And then we go to next. And what is it about? Topic, subject, and what do you want to achieve and how long should it be? So let's say I'm a plumber, and this is another joke because people used to say that now that AI exists and can do everything, we should all just give up and become plumbers. Those of you in the tech community may have heard of that joke quite a number of times. So short 100 to 300. The goal is to drive sales. And then do you have any specific instructions? No. So we are going to generate it, generate content. Alright, let's go back and see. Yeah, so here we have professional plumbing services. Keep your operations flowing smoothly. When plumbing issues strike your business, every minute of downtime costs you money. Don't let a clogged drain, broken pipe, or faulty water heater disrupt your operations and disappoint your customers. Why choose professional commercial plumbing? They did this because I didn't give a name for the company, so it just gave a generic name. 24-hour service, license and insured, preventive, and it gives you what our services include, and then all this stuff right to the bottom. And that is an app you built within Claude itself. So again, like I said earlier when we were beginning, AI is good for simple repetitive tasks. Let's say you are a social media content creator. Yes, obviously you can use ChatGPT to come up with something. But if it's something that is predictable, you always have to keep doing the same style of thing. Why not come up with an app inside Claude which can do it for you? And in some ways, when it comes to writing, Claude has become even better than ChatGPT. When it comes to writing professionally, Claude is actually better than ChatGPT. A lot of people have gotten used to the way ChatGPT writes. And Claude has been made to write more human-like than ChatGPT is. One of the advancements that with their latest um, format called the Claude for Sonnet, which you see at the bottom right here. So another thing you can do with Claude is you can also do some analysis with Claude. So let me look for an example of analysis with Claude. So in this one, we are basically going to upload data and then try and create a kind of dashboard with it. I uploaded data on a food company, which the screen seems to have frozen. Okay, apologies for the technical glitches. Okay. Um, all right, let's give it a minute to refresh and come back. But in the meantime, let's see if anyone has any questions on. We've done two so far. We've done Notebook LM. We've done Space. We'll go back and check a bit later if our Gemini reads. Yes, hello. I hope everybody can hear me now. All right. Yes, so apologies. I think there was a small network glitch. I'm going to share my screen in a minute. So I was saying, whilst I'm sharing my screen, we covered two platforms, soon to be three. Does anybody have any questions whilst we are still on Claude before we get to the next two? We covered Sci-Space, Notebook LM, and we are now on Claude. Yes, Anna.
So I'm putting myself in the shoes of somebody who is thinking of pursuing a master's program or a PhD. The general fear is writing a thesis. And
Sure.
recently I heard of somebody whose application was turned down because they applied to their program using AI. Now, as someone who feels she cannot write a thesis, how do I allow AI to teach me how to write my thesis so that in the future no one can go and say I used AI to write my thesis, so therefore they are withholding my certificate, or I'm no longer a doctor because I use AI to write my thesis?
So I think that would be the last but one thing, which is ChatGPT, which we'll go into because ChatGPT is very good at teaching people how to do things. A lot of people utilize ChatGPT the wrong way. So when we get to um, ChatGPT, I'll show how you can use ChatGPT to teach you how to do things. To like you said, role play, ask questions. You can even use where you are. Imagine you are doing your defense, research defense, and you want a tool to use for that. You can use it to do that. So I just hold on for 1 second. All right. So yeah, Anna, to address your concern, when you get to the ChatGPT version, we'll deal with that aspect. All right. Any other questions before we go on? All right. I guess so. Let's go back to Claude and see what we can do with Claude. I mentioned that we could use Claude to do a bit of data analysis. Not data analysis, data visualization. Data analysis is a bit different for that. All right. So I've loaded one document. Well, it does both, but I want to go to a data visualization first. Let's go up. Yes. I wanted to create an interactive dashboard. So I uploaded a data set called Apocalypse Food Prep. And I said create a dashboard for me. So let me I created something called Apocalypse Food Prep, and basically it's an interactive dashboard. You have to be specific. One of the things about AI is you have to be specific with your prompts, and you have to be step by step. So AI don't think like human beings. AI are kind of like smart idiots, if you put it that way. They only give back what you tell them. So if you are not quite sure what result you want, probably you shouldn't be prompting the AI yet. You have to know what is your end goal. So for me, I'm like, okay, I want an interactive dashboard from the data I've uploaded. And then that's up for me. If I'm not sure what I want and I just give it anything, you don't quite get what you want. So we said we want an interactive dashboard and then they gave us something based on the criteria. This is US data. So that's why we are seeing all these things here. We are seeing states, New York, Phoenix, Florida, Texas, um, I'm not sure what MC means. And then we have a range. Then we have our sales. unique customers, average age, states covered, and then we have a basic database on this. Same for sales by product, and then we have our age distribution, categorized according to the age, and then we have age as against purchase amount. And you can see the scatter plot over here, and then just a table putting all this together. Again, all within Claude. So yes, whilst Claude was made for uh, developers initially or software engineers, they created this tool called artifacts. That's what it is. That's why you see interactive artifacts, where you can create your own apps inside Claude itself, and they work for you inside that Claude environment. Whether it's a blog post generator, uh, content generator, financial dashboard, um, financial statements, anything you want, it can create for you within Claude itself. You cannot take it outside Claude, unfortunately. We have not made that feature yet. But so far as you have an account and it's there, you can always come back to it and then update it with new information and to give you newer dashboards or newer financial statements or blog posts or content based on your use case.